going to select that edge loop, and I'm going to delete it. Delete edge vertex. Scale that down. I'm going to select all the faces for this area, and I'm going to make sure they're all selected, and then go to connect component, and I'll do the same with the bottom part. Connect component, and I'm going to delete the other side. I'll type 0 for the outside. Select that edge loop and type 0. I'm going to edit, duplicate special, and in this case it's not really working, so I'll probably have to freeze my transformations on that object. I'll just do that in a moment here. I'm going to enter an edge loop. So as we can see, my duplicate special is not working, so I'm going to select the object, go to modify, freeze transformations, and now I can go ahead and duplicate special. I'll delete history as well, and go to duplicate special, and now it should work fine. So now I'm just adding some edge loops. And you can continue to delete some of the edges. I'll select the edge loops for this and for that, and I'm going to edit mesh, bevel options box. I'm going to set it to a really low number. I'm going to bevel, probably set it even lower than this, and that should work fine. Let's go to create polygon primitives. I'm going to use a cube and I'm going to scale that down a bit. I'll press 3 to work on subdivision mode, and I'm going to scale it this way and like that, and I'm going to set it in place. Going to press 1 and go to smooth, so we can smooth that once, and that should work fine. So I'm going to select these faces, and I'll probably select the faces from the side as well. I'm going to deselect the ones from the bottom. I'll deselect those two, and I'm going to edit mesh and extrude, and I'll use the blue handle. And I'll scale the bottom area just so that it's flat. And then you can shape that area if you are not happy with the look. Let me insert an edge loop here, just for animation purposes. I want to make sure that this deforms well. Let's go to create polygon primitives. I'm going to select a sphere. I'm going to the inputs, and I'm going to set this to 14. And for the height, I'll probably set it to 20. Or it could be even more than that. I'll set it to 40. So now let me select the object. Go to face mode, and I'm going to disable reflection. I'll select that face, and I'm going to delete. Double click this face and delete all that. Now select that face. And I'm going to delete. I'm actually going to delete those as well. And delete this. So now we're left with this, and I'm going to select some of the edges here. Whoops. Now I'm going to edit mesh and extrude. I'll press R to scale and scale those out. And now I'm going to edit mesh transformed component. I'll click on the square to scale those down. And that should work fine. I'm going to modify center pivot. Move that down. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. I'll scale that down. And I'll just put it in place. I'll rotate it a bit. I'm going to select this edge, and I'm going to edit mesh extrude, and I'll move it all the way here so that it connects. And I'm going to select the whole object, and I'm going to extrude, and I'll give it some thickness. And now we have that area for the boot. Let's go to create polygon primitives, and I'm going to select a cube. I'll move that to the side, and I'll keep this object really simple. It depends on how complex you want it to be, but I'll keep it really simple for the back that he has on the side. If you wanted it to open, then it'll have to be a bit more complex than what I'm going to do, but I'll just keep it really simple. So now I'm going to extrude that face. So now it's just about shaping the object, and it shouldn't take too much time. And I'm going to just delete some of the edge loops just because I think this object has too much geometry to it. We want to simplify it since it's a really simple object. So we'll probably have to delete a lot of edge loops. And I'm going to create a sphere. I'll rotate it about 90 degrees on the X. And I'll probably reduce my subdivisions to something that's really low, like 8. And then I'll just scale that. I'll press Ctrl D to duplicate, just so that I have that other object. And I'll use this one as one of the buttons for the strap area. Right now, the last thing that we have to do is just create the backs for the back. So I'm going to select those faces and go to Edit Mesh, Extrude, and I'll just move those, scale those down a bit and move those out. And that's it. And the last thing is just to shape it. And that concludes the modeling process for my object. Whoops, it looks like I probably extruded more than once. So I'll just undo all the way back. Okay, and I'll just do that again and extrude. And all you have to do now is shape. So this basically concludes the modeling process for this model. So we're actually done creating all the elements that make up this model. So the last thing that we should do is do another pass for all the shaping of the model, making sure that it looks the way you want it to look. And once you're done, what you're going to do is delete one side and delete one side of the mesh for all the objects. Whoops, looks like this one's already connected. I'm going to delete that side. and I'm going to select all the objects now. I'm going to select everything, but I'm going to deselect this little piece right here, and I'll probably deselect that piece. And I'm going to mesh combine, so now we have one mesh. The last thing is we go to mesh mirror geometry, set it to -x and merge vertices, and now you should have one piece. So now our mesh is just one whole object. And this concludes our modeling tutorial. So thank you for getting all the way here. You are now done modeling a character, and you should technically be able to create many other characters using the same technique.